Hey girl, sit tight, don't mind the chaos, and just vibe. Hi besties.
What is up, besties? It is your host, Zoe, and I am back with another freaking episode on the Did I Overshare podcast today. How are my besties doing? I hope you guys are having a great week. I know it just started, but I hope it's been great to you nonetheless. And if you are new, what the fuck is up? Thank you for joining this roller coaster. If you're not new, you already know what the fuck's up. What's today's episode going to be about? You may ask. Today's episode is ending the cycles, called Healing is Refusing to Repeat the Cycle. Right. And like I said, ending the cycles. Before we get into this, if you end up liking this show, liking this episode, please leave a 5-star rating and a review. It helps me so much. It helps the podcast grow. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. So, like I said, the title of this is going to be Healing is Refusing to Repeat the Cycle. A couple different things I want you to think about as we talk about this today. Building something new, seeing the pattern in this, feeling the grief, losing relationships, having boundaries and standing firm on them, getting therapy, when things come up like the patterns and stuff, like I said before, name it, see it, describe it. How is it? And I think the reason why I wanted to talk about ending cycles is because I feel like no matter where you are in life, how far you are going through a cycle at that point. No matter what it is, you could be going through multiple different cycles. Cycles are all across the board. Some I have written down are like trauma, family, friends, work, money, our triggers, how we apologize. There's cycles in everything and how we learn and grow. I think starting from childhood, everything kind of starts, everything kind of builds. And whether we're talking cycles as in ancestral cycles, things that have been going on in your family forever. My cat is about to be a menace. Just want to let you guys know. Things that have been going on in your family forever, or cycles of addiction, cycles of bad friendships, cycles of bad jobs, bad money habits. There are so many different cycles that we deal with as humans, and I feel like I wanted to touch on that because I think going through these changes and having these cycles is a beautiful thing, but it is a very exhausting thing at the same time. And I think not enough of us give ourselves grace for going through this and also being aware of it and being the one to take it on. So yeah, choosing yourself is, in my opinion, number one in breaking a cycle. And no matter what the cycle is, I think that choosing yourself is the strongest thing to lean towards first, like not fixing money or doing something else, irrelevant. I think a cycle starts with you, whether it be something direct or indirect that you're dealing with. I think it starts with you. How are you approaching this? How have you been dealing with this? How did this even come to fruition? What are we doing here? And I think one of the best things, in my opinion, that I've learned when going through cycles is, for me, I think patterns come into play. I know personally for me, let me know if it does for you guys as well. But when I start getting into situations, I like the same things start happening like they did years prior or months prior with like the same but kind of different situation. But the principle is still the same at the end of the day. But what I'll notice is the same things start happening, or the same things keep being said, or I'm feeling the same, or somebody is reminding me of somebody. That's when you know, hey, this might be a pattern and this might be another cycle you need to break. Is this another lesson you need to learn? What's going on here? Like how can I analyze this situation? And I think analyzing a situation is our number one goal when it comes to a cycle. So let's say, what's a good one? No, I don't feel like I'm okay, let's say the cycle is going back to your ex, right? Why are you going back to your ex? I think what works best for me is locating a feeling first. Or like, why do I feel the need to do this? So, and let's say this is the case to your ex. Oh, maybe it's Well, I keep going back to him because, he's just, he's somebody I love. I don't want to find anybody new. I want you to locate that emotion, locate that feeling, locate that why, get a reason. And like I said, no matter the situation, why aren't you going to the gym? Why aren't you doing this, that, the other? What is this relationship with this person? Why do you feel that way? What's going on? Like, a lot of the times we'll get, some can say it's our intuition. Some can just say, we've dealt with a lot of shit. I think a lot of times it's both. But usually when you're in a situation, no matter what it is, we get a feeling like something feels wrong, right? Something feels not right. It feels like kind of a split decision needs to be made. Hey, let's say it's like speaking up about something. Hey, do I say something, or do I keep it quiet? Or do I say something for once and actually address my feelings? Or am I going to be quiet? Am I going to do this? Yada, yada, yada. Where are you at? Right? I definitely forgot what I was talking about. And when you notice where you're at, I want you to, in turn, start making those necessary changes in order to make these patterns different, in order to learn your lesson per se, or learn, how to more effectively approach certain things. I think that's very important in cycles, but also you can also hit, those are more so focused on personal cycles, but we can also hit like familial cycles. Those are very hard to carry, especially, let's say it's one when it comes to alcoholism or drugs or anything of that nature. Are you going to be the one that falls in this trap? Are you going to be the one that kind of just indulges like everybody else? How is this being, if you grew up being only around alcoholics, hating your life because of it, hating your situation, your predicament, losing out on things around you, and just having that burden, in turn, are you going to follow in those footsteps? Because if I'm going to be honest, from what I've seen, it is definitely a cycle. And it continues unless it is broken. And I've seen it continue my whole life in so many different forms, in so many different ways. It's like you grow up hating one thing and then you slowly, slowly fall into it. And part of that, okay, we can talk about genetics, we can talk about everything. And I don't get up here and I don't say this because it's some easy thing and I think I've cured it and I've conquered it and I just, I'm the best. No, not at all. I come up here to say this, that I am actively currently trying to break cycles, trying to get myself out of that, trying not to repeat things. And it is exhausting, like I said at the beginning. And I talk about this because I know there's a lot of us dealing with it. I know there's a lot of us who in our day-to-day lives, we have these decisions and we're like, well, am I just like them? Am I a horrible person? Am I this? Am I that? Beating yourself up all the time. And when it comes to learning and growing on something, it's okay if bumps along the road happen. Let's say, since we were talking about alcohol, let's say you did fall into the family cycle. You drink a lot. You party a lot. Fine. Fine. And the first step in that cycle is wanting to make a change. It's okay if throughout that change you keep going back to drinking, you keep doing this. As long as you get up every day and continue to move forward and try, like I said in a couple episodes ago, I don't think you have failed until you give up. I think getting up and trying every day to break a cycle, to grow, to learn and continue is therefore eventually going to get you to the finish line, to where you need to be. As long as you wake up and say, hey, you know what? Today I'm 4 days sober. 4 days is better than no days. It's everything is a constant ongoing uphill battle. And I think it is not easy, but it is very rewarding, I can say. There's no greater confidence than knowing that you have persevered when all odds were against you. There is no better feeling than knowing you're safe, you are happy, you're comfortable. And I think in the best terms for me, a bad day for me is I didn't get the snack I wanted and maybe the dishes weren't done. A bad day is not coming home, hearing slamming doors, having the cops called. That's not a bad day. That's breaking a cycle. Something I want to touch on, me and Michi were talking earlier because he had therapy today. And he told me I can talk about it. One thing I really wanted him to talk with his therapist about, because I don't really get into what he has going on over there, because it's his business. But there was something me and him shared, and I was like, hey, I want you to talk to your therapist about your anger. What do you do with that? Bro's a Scorpio moon. Like, he does not deal with his emotions, okay? No shade to him. He's just like a ball of fire in the inside, and you'll never see it. He's like the sweetest guy ever. And I'm like, talk to her about it. Do something. And he was talking about it, and it's been going good. And one thing he said to me today, he came to a realization, and he was like, hey, I kind of noticed, in a way, growing up, like, he already was kind of very inward when it came to his feelings. But he said, growing up, I noticed that, I would get in more trouble if I showed my feelings, and we all know in a household growing up, it's kind of like, oh, here, I'm going to give you something to cry about. Or if you're getting a whooping, like, here, if you keep crying, you're going to get hit more. So it's one of them things like, yeah, essentially you are taught to shut the fuck up and take it, like, and not to be as morbid as it sounds. But in turn, yes, that does add on to why he feels like that. Or, his struggle as a man, when he would get in those things, it was kind of like, tighten the fuck up and shut up. You're cool, you're cool, you're cool. And I think it was great that he came around to that. And like I said, breaking cycles, that is him, that first step. He might still catch himself in that that process of suppressing his emotions. But first of all, going to therapy, breaking a cycle that didn't happen before him, that didn't happen before me. It, like, not a lot of people indulge in that. Sitting with himself, first of all, acknowledging that, hey, maybe I do want to talk to my therapist about this. Maybe I will listen. And being able to, comfortable enough to talk to me about it first, right? These are all steps that happen. That is you breaking the cycle. You are breaking it day by day with each decision you are making. I think a lot of the times, me especially, I know I do this and I am victim of it. A lot of the times I'm just waiting for the grand finish line. I'm waiting for the surprise. I'm waiting to be done. I'm waiting to just do this. When really the true magic is in the journey. The true healing is in the journey and what's going on through that, And your healing may never make people proud, but it will make you free. And that's a really, really hard thing to sit with, especially if, I would say, used to be a people pleaser like me. It was really hard for me to even want to start a journey in any sense, because I had this fascination of not making people upset with me, because I just couldn't deal with it. And I had to get over that first. But a big thing is, especially if you are doing the opposite of what's been taught to you your whole life, let's say it is, in the family or something that's been passed down for generations, you will be that black sheep and you will stick out. You will look like a hater. I've been called a hater so many times, and that I think I'm better than everybody. What? No. But you will be ostracized because of that. Like, you will, undoubtedly, because they see what you're doing is odd. And a lot of the times, when people see you doing opposite or making a change or doing different, and a lot of the times it comes off as hate and it comes off as envy, but deep down, that person truly is probably like, bitch, I wish I did that first. You know what? I hate that you're making the change that I didn't make. And a lot of times that's what it is with people. They're upset that you're making a change and an effort that they didn't make before. And so in turn, their life cannot be the same. Oh my gosh, my cats are fighting and then knocked over the damn playpen. What the fuck is happening? Okay, relax. We're good, guys. What I had written down next was, don't let your emotions control you. And that's so important in this cycle, because it's, first of all, so important to feel your emotions throughout this. Because it's a lot, especially when you start, let's say, breaking these cycles or healing as an adult. a lot of the times you're not healing as an adult. You have to heal your inner child. And I know a lot of times on social media, all we hear is, oh, inner child work, inner child this, da da da. No, genuinely, I've caught myself time and time again. You have to go back to your roots. You have to go back to everything you once knew as a child. You have to go back to your childhood and what was enforced in you and instilled within you. You have to go back to that and think, hey, why do I react like this as an adult? Why do I apologize like this as an adult? Why am I scared to do these simple little things as an adult? Why? And I guarantee you, if you sit there long enough with yourself, you can pinpoint it to childhood. You can pinpoint it to something. And those emotions are going to be rough and you're really not going to know what to do, right? But a lot of the times when we feel so angry or feel so hopeless, maybe, like, emotions can be all over the place. Let's say you feel hopeless about this and you're just like, damn, I'm tired of having to break this shit. I got to this point, I'm gonna be honest, very, very recently. I was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. Like, genuinely, why the fuck did y'all choose me? I'm over it. Like, I'm cool, bro. Like, and then you gotta realize, hey, don't let my emotions speak for me. Don't let my emotions speak for me. It's fine. I'll get over it. Give me a couple days. I get over it. Give me a couple days. Because you'll catch yourself breaking that cycle. You won't feel like shit anymore. I recently went through something where I had to weigh my options, and I was like, hey, do I protect what I have over here, or do I choose me, even though something I had to protect genuinely felt like something in my soul? Or do I choose me? And I'm going to be honest, I chose myself. I chose it in the most balanced way I could, but I still was like, hey, I need to address this on behalf of me. I got to put my boundaries up on behalf of me and myself and my respect. And I was breaking a cycle I had. I could never communicate my feelings effectively because I was just kind of terrified of a response, honestly. And that was a cycle I had to break. There's a lot of things I'm constantly going through and living and evolving through. And I want to ask you, are you? And are you noticing that you're doing it? Because I think a lot of times we are constantly breaking cycles and constantly growing and evolving and living, to our best ability. But a lot of times we focus on the negative and beat ourselves up along the way. You can't do that. I want you to acknowledge your wins. Acknowledge when you have a good thought and you're like, damn, hey, I need help. Or, damn, hey, don't talk to me like that. Every single time you see yourself taking a step in the right direction, no matter how big or small, acknowledge it, embrace it, and be proud of yourself because you are different. You are taking different steps. You're living a different life and you're leading a different life. And that is a beautiful thing to go through and a beautiful thing to experience. You will in turn keep breaking your own heart, expecting people to end cycles with you or to get help with you. You will break your own heart. I sat there for so many times and I'm like, damn, please get sober, please get sober, please get sober. And then you got to realize, hey, people are going to do what they want to do. People have the capacity they have. If somebody doesn't want to do something, they won't do it. And just because I have that willpower, doesn't mean they do, but also in the same turn, it doesn't mean I need to wait for them to. I have to choose me, I have to choose my life, and I have to move forward with it and essentially be better. No matter how hard the situation is, you have to find light in any little part of it to keep going, to want to keep trying and to get better. Like I said, heal, learn, grow. It's not linear. Growth is not linear. It is a spectrum and it's all over the fucking place. But as long as you wake up every day and you're like, hey, I'm going to be a better me. And it can be in the smallest way possible. The smallest way possible. Even if it means changing a negative thought. No matter what it is. Wake up and choose to be a better you. Change yourself in order to change your future. Do it. And one more thing I want to touch on. One of the biggest cycles I think I had, that this started a cycle, I think, for everything else in my life. Sometimes in order to break a cycle, you have to leave the environment that is keeping you within all of these cycles, you know? And for me, I made that the second, I think I moved a month after I graduated high school. I moved. I couldn't be in a place where I seen no growth for myself, and I knew really it didn't even matter about my environment and everything. Well, it did, but like not really. It was more so for me. I was like, I know I can't progress here with my environment, so these outside sources, with attitudes, with the seasons, with everything. I don't see growth for me. I don't see myself winning here. I don't see myself improving here. I see myself falling into these cycles if I stay here. And that's another thing when they talk about you are who you are, like are around and hang out with. It's true. It's true. You ultimately become that. Or because you're going to get influenced regardless. You will get influenced regardless. You are ultimately that. So like I said at the end, heal, learn, and grow. But yeah, that was today's episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys catch yourself and notice how many cycles you have broken this far, because I know you have, and I know you guys will be great, and no matter what you do. So yeah, like I said, if you like this podcast, please leave a 5-star rating and a review. You know, I love talking to you guys. And if you want to overshare on this here podcast, look in the show notes down below, and you can email didoversharepodcast@gmail.com for, to submit your story. And yeah, this is available on everything. I will have some clips up on YouTube. And yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope you have a blessed week. Bye.